You guys ever heard of the MKULTRA mind control experiment? It was done by the CIA. Let's get into it. So in the 60s, the CIA did this pretty large experiment on how the subconscious mind can essentially be reprogrammed when it's put into states of hypnosis. And this was done, they used drugs to get the brain into a theta wave brain state, which is essentially almost like a form of, almost like a dream state. So you're almost asleep. Your body is essentially asleep, but your mind is awake. And in this state, this is when the brain can be programmed subconsciously. So I learned to do this, but without drugs. You could do this and get into this theta state on your own through meditation. And essentially, when you get into this state, you can use this state to your advantage. Where, like for me, it's learning songs. When I'm trying to learn a tune for a recording session or something, I'll get deep into this state where it's essentially imprinted in my subconscious mind before I record. It allows me to learn the song very quickly and also just avoid having to like chart it out. I like to memorize the stuff myself. So essentially this is done by, if you just take 10 minutes, prepare yourself, do some deep breath, and get into a really comfortable, calm state. And then once you're in that zone, boom, you can kind of feel it. Your breath, your heart rate slows down. That's the point where I put on the track that I need to learn. And I don't even really try to think too much. Because in this mode, your subconscious is just essentially been activated. So I just close my eyes, I listen to the track one way through, and then at the end I'll just think about it for a brief moment. I'll replay it again for a second playthrough, and after that I kind of have a general idea of the overall structure of the tune. The third time I'll take a pass at it with the drums, and I'll come up with some basic patterns, the basic structure, how I'm going to transition to the bridge, the chorus, what the ending is, because it's already been kind of printed in there. And then I probably do one more playthrough, and then I would say the next pass is when I hit record. And pretty much at that point, I have structured out the entire song and the entire drum part. I find this so effective in learning basically anything. If you need to memorize anything, when you tune in your subconscious mind into this state, it's amazing what you can achieve. Because sometimes your mind will get in your way if you're like forcing things too hard. And you can see it, just how food industries, pharmaceutical companies, they know this, and they use this subconscious programming to their advantage with their marketing tactics, through how the commercials run, right? These ads, they'll show you very, if you look at a food company, it's always this delicious food, and it's always like they show these beautiful people, and it's always a beautiful day, and it's like, oh, it literally puts you into that theta state. And subconsciously, next time you drive by that fast food chain, you may just drop right in and go buy one of those burgers, not even thinking about it. Because the truth is when you're in this theta state, you can't really critically think. You just kind of embed the information into your subconscious. So it's just, that's the beauty of it when you use it to your advantage. But you can see how it can be used against you, right? Like if they show you something very shocking, like let's say a graphic image. Let's say a pharmaceutical company is trying to sell a vaccine for shingles, right? So the commercial, they got this guy lifts up his shirt, he's in so much pain, he's got this terrible rash all over his belly, and it's like, this looks terrible. So as you sit there on TV, you see this, and immediately you feel this kind of like triggered traumatic experience where it's like a survival mode you go into. And in this survival mode, that's when the subconscious is kind of like all of a sudden kind of taking in the information and printing it. And therefore you can't really critically think in a moment when you're in a survival mode like that. So you tend to just kind of like quickly I gotta get out of here, boom. And then you just go and you go to the doctor and get the shot, you know what I mean? And it applies to like all those kind of marketing tactics, right? And it works. That's why they do it. And these CIA documents that have been declassified from MKULTRA, they all explain this, these wave patterns. Like when we walk around, right, you know, right now I'm in the beta state brainwave where I'm just walking, you know, I'm not thinking about my legs moving, just walking around. It's the basic functions. But when you get into that state where you calm the mind, deep breaths, it's amazing what you can achieve. So I highly recommend it for anything that you need to learn. It's worth a try. Plus the breathing is so calm and relaxing. But yeah, I think it's worth trying out. So I'm interested to see if you guys can get any success with this. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, if you like this video, give a like, comment, and subscribe. Anyway, love you guys. See you in the next one.